Sheila ma'am?
Hello?
Ma'am?
Patricia?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, shall we begin or wait for some time, ma'am?
We shall begin, Patricia.
Okay, ma'am.
Shall we begin?
Yes, ma'am. Sumati, ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, we shall begin, ma'am.
Shall we start?
Ma'am, the resource person is there, ma'am.
Just ensure.
Dr.
Hello.
Harsha? Yeah, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank. Hello, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good evening, good afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. You are very much audible.
Okay.
Okay. Ma'am, we shall begin. Sumati, ma'am, over to you.
Yeah. A very good afternoon to everyone. From the webinar desk, the PG and the Research Department of English, St. Mary's College, I feel immensely pleased to welcome you all to this webinar on emerging trends of professional communication skills in the digital era. What is happening today? We don't say what we mean. We don't mean what we say. In this fast-paced life, let us not waste our time in being silent observers of this pandemic tragedy. The speedy evolution of technology into our daily lives has allowed rapid global communication and networking to shape our modern society. We need to communicate professionally to be understood and appreciated. In our midst, we have the academician Dr. Harsha M. Pandya, Assistant Professor of English, Nirmala College for Women, Coimbatore. We are very glad to have Dr. Harsha as our resource person. Before we move on to the welcome address, I would like to remind the participants. Dear professors, scholars, and students, kindly mute your mics and videos. You can post your queries and questions in the chat box at the end of the session. At any cost, don't share your screen. Now, I'd like to call upon Mrs. A. Judith Sheila Damayanti, Head and Associate Professor, Department of English, St. Mary's College, to deliver the welcome address. Over to you, Sheila, ma'am.
Very good afternoon to all. Communication, the human connection, is the key to personal and career success. At this defining moment, I am much delighted to welcome Reverend Sister Secretary Flora Mary, a luminary, the epicenter of the leading institution of the town, St. Mary's College Autonomous, Thoothukudi. I wholeheartedly welcome our principal, Reverend Dr. Sister A.S.J. Lucia Rose, a towering personality who has been the cornerstone of initiating positive transformation in her relentless pursuit of academic endeavors. I cordially welcome our Vice Principal, Dr. Sister Shibana, a dynamic and vibrant personality. It's my pleasure to welcome and introduce Dr. Harsha M. Pandya, Assistant Professor of English, Nirmala College for Women, Coimbatore. Dr. Harsha Pandya is an expert speaker whom everyone looks up to. Ma'am's teaching career spans over a period of 10 years. Her doctoral thesis entitled The Interface Between Environmentalism and Neo-Humanism in the select prose writings of Lorraine Ainslie unravels her intellectual caliber. Ma'am has chaired sessions in conferences and seminars in reputed institutions. She has, to her credit, prepared and compiled course materials for in-house publication and distribution of books in professional communication, Indian thought in English, grammar and usage, value education, and department handbooks. She has published few research papers in UGC approved journals. As a language trainer, she has successfully conducted a summer course on spoken English and communication skills for students and supporting staff in her college. She has accomplished herself in her illustrious academic career. Indeed, we are privileged to have the most befitting person in our midst to address us on the topic emerging trends of professional communication skills in the digital era. On behalf of the PG and Research Department of English, I extend a cordial welcome to all the participants and my dear colleagues to this webinar. Welcome, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am, for your lovable words of welcome and your sweet introduction about the chief guest. Even flowers and birds do communicate. The trumpet flowers are calling hummingbirds and butterflies to taste the sweet nectar. Now, as professors, let us communicate effectively to achieve professional success. Now, I would like to hand over the forum to our special guest, Dr. Harsha M. Pandya, Assistant Professor of English, Nirmala College for Women, Coimbatore. Over to you, ma'am. Harsha, ma'am.
Harsha ma'am, can you kindly unmute yourself, ma'am?
Thank you all so much for the warm welcome that you have accorded to me. I'm equally grateful and happy to be here in this forum, which is going to discuss a very important topic today. I would like to begin by stating my gratitude to Reverend Sister Secretary, Reverend Sister Principal, the convener of the webinar, Ms. Judith Sheila, and Dr. Betsy for considering me as the resource person for this webinar today. Thank you all so much. And I welcome everybody, each and every participant to the professional world today. And let me begin my presentation with a small introduction. Professional world, it has changed a lot. What it was a few years earlier and what it has become today is a very, very important subject to be discussed today. Now, what do you mean by modernity? When you consider a modern car, what comes to our mind today? Maybe the flashy automation function, the built-in features that we expect today, the color, and the features that everybody looks towards, isn't it? Similarly, when we are looking for a modern city, what comes to our mind? The glossy architecture, the innovative structure of the city itself, and the ample job opportunities that are available in the city, and the forward-thinking businesses that strive today, and the comfort that the city life can offer us. Similarly, when we look at the modern workplace, what comes to our mind? The potential employee today, the graduates, the literature graduates, or the people who are shifting their careers from other industrial areas to teaching or anything for that matter, what kind of a picture does the modern digital professional world pose to them? This is the topic that we are going to do, and hope I've covered a few important points for you to understand. Let me do my presentation, present my screen.
Harsha ma'am, your mic is on mute, ma'am.
Is my screen visible now?
Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Hello? Is
Ma'am,
my screen visible,
yes,
ma'am?
ma'am, your screen is visible, ma'am. Hello?
Hello?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am, your screen is visible.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know how it goes off automatically. Yes. The emerging trends of professional communication skills in the digital era. Now, the presentation overview, which I have as my parts, are the nature of the digital professional world and how it has changed today from what it was earlier. So, the difference between the traditional workplace and the modern workplace, the different job prospects that are available for literature graduates, and the employer expectations, and focusing on on few important skills like verbal communication skills, non-verbal traits, soft skills, self-quotients, namely the IQ, EQ, and the SQ, and then most importantly, the employability skills that all graduates look for today, concluding with the entrepreneurial skills which are which have to be learned. What is the nature of the traditional workplace? We find that our elders, the family members, our teachers who worked, or the people in the industries worked from 9 to 5 schedule, isn't it? And they had been sitting in the cubicle office rooms all the time. And with a few computer systems at their workplace, they were able to reach out to the local areas where the business was spread. The strategies and the policies that they used were set at the beginning of the financial year itself. And then they had to work out their plan of action accordingly. And you find that very often there were very few risks involved because they were risk proof during that time. And very rarely they thought about innovations because they wanted a comfortable workplace where not only job satisfaction more than anything else. And then you find that the whole of the structure of the traditional setup is hierarchical in nature.
Harsha ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. Your mic is off, ma'am. Ma'am, your mic is still on mute, ma'am. Kindly unmute yourself.
I don't know how it works. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Should I begin my presentation from the beginning?
No, ma'am. It was just 3 seconds before. So you can start from that slide, from the current slide onwards, ma'am.
Okay, because it goes mute automatically. I do not know. Please let me know if it goes off.
Yes,
okay?
yes, ma'am.
Thank
Sure,
you.
ma'am.
As I was saying, that the pay hike or the promotion was based more on seniority or the number of years that you have spent at your workplace. And The employees, once they register, they may not have to look for any challenges ahead. But now the times have changed a lot. What has changed? What has become of the professional world today? It has become highly dynamic and competitive in nature. Nothing can be planned earlier. Every plan has to be done at its appropriate time through the contexts. But with the changing context, things have to be changed, strategies have to be changed, policies have to be changed, and the working conditions or the procedures that the employees are using, they have to change accordingly. So it has become highly dynamic, and getting a job today is not an easy task because you are fighting with a competitive world. And it is not locally limited. All your businesses have become globally fluent. You are entering new international markets in order to grow your business. And then that demands that you need to be highly flexible. So no rigid workforce or work culture. Now it has changed to a flexible work culture. And your offices are not located only in your place, but so many of your sub offices are geographically dispersed. To the people of different parts of the world is highly challenging again. Entering new international markets, if you are not able to update yourself in order to enter that, you will lag behind. And the whole of the professional workplace is spurred by advances in technology. Not just mere computer techniques or skills that you need to learn today, but even a simple PPT presentation or just a launch of a new project needs certain technical and technological skills. Even a carpenter today can work out his design on a computer or on a network. And hence, updated technological equipments, learning those skills have become very important. Followed by skill and customer-centric attitude of the employers as well as the employees as well as the customers. Earlier, people used to go to the shop, ask for what they want and get it and go. But today you have so many different malls where so many things are displayed on the shelves. You're looking for biscuits and chocolates and deodorants. You don't want one. You want so many so that you can read the reviews, you can try out so many things. And hence, it has become very challenging for the businesses to strive unless they provide diversity and upgradation, they may not be able to survive in the business world. And so the employees need to be skilled more than qualification. Skills are given more importance today. And because the products and the ideas and the services that you're providing are customer centric. And as I said, the merit and the performance are the grades to be considered before you're given a promotion in your workplace, even a hike in your salary. It all depends on how much you have performed, how many projects have you accomplished, more than your seniority or the number of years that you have contributed to the institution. And then the business seeks innovation, creativity, and constant change. As I said, the whole setup is going to change very, very often. You need to cater to those changes. And more collaborative and networked workforce. That itself tells you that you are not going to work individually, but you are going to contribute in a team where everybody goes along with you. So there's no boss or the employee aspect here. Everyone works together because everybody strives to succeed simultaneously. And you are more result and solution driven. You cannot walk away with you cannot walk away with one idea. You need to collect ideas from so many different people. You need to upgrade your knowledge so much that you can come up with new solutions. You cannot sit with your problems. You have to solve them immediately because you are running short of time. And then you are working with shifted mindsets and new perspectives. For such a challenging world, it has become for the professional world. And unless we upgrade ourselves today, we will not be able to succeed. And it does not sound so difficult for us. We can work out. There are forums where you can learn the skills necessary in order to be a successful professional. For literature graduates, I thought I could list out a few job prospects. Gone are the days where literature students think that they can only be teachers or professors or just language trainers in the organizations. No, you can have so many. You can become a media content writer today. Whatever you see on the internet, on the websites, on the blogs, whom do you think can write all those effectively and convey this to the audience effectively?
Harsha ma'am, excuse me ma'am. Ma'am, your mic is on mute ma'am. Participants, I kindly request you not to mute the speaker. I find many of you fidgeting with your mics, so kindly please make sure that you don't mute the speaker.
Hello.
Yes ma'am, now you are audible ma'am.
Ma'am, I don't know how it goes off. Automatically it goes muted.
Ma'am, some of the participants, I think they are trying to fidget with the mics ma'am. That's the reason ma'am. Participants, I kindly request you not to fidget with the mics. It gets interrupted. The presentation gets interrupted. So kindly maintain the decorum of the forum. Ma'am, you can continue ma'am. Sorry for the inconvenience ma'am.
No problem, ma'am. You can become a journalist as well as a news presenter. So you're not just a news reader today, but you're a news presenter. There's so many attributes that you can accord to this role as a news presenter. Because whatever you state, it is reaching the public in the very same way. Today, in the news panels, we see that the news readers, along with all the expertise, they are able to discuss so many things so wonderfully. You can become one. And then you can also become a personality development trainer. Any office today, any new enterprises, any established enterprises, they always try to give a good training to the new recruiters, especially in soft skills and personality development. And whom do you think they hire for such things? They hire literature graduates. You can also become public relations officer because your negotiating skills, your counseling skills help people to decide what they should do and what they shouldn't. You can also become a front office executive. More than a receptionist who sits in the front of the office just to answer to your calls and to answer to your queries, a front office executive is a very prestigious post. Yes, he is the one who establishes connection between the insiders and the outsiders. You ought to have so much of knowledge for that. And literature graduates are very apt for that post. Apart from that, you can also become a professional advisor and a counselor. Wherever people have difficulty in adhering to their workplace environment, they resort to counselors who can work on their psychology, who can reassure them that nothing has gone wrong. Yes, they can develop their skills. So you can become that advisor and counselor. And all your translation and other communication skills can help you to become a tourism and a hospitality manager today. There's nothing which literature graduates cannot do today. You have so good job prospects. And literature graduates also have a very important subject called environment. Now, if you have specialized in that subject, you can become an environmentalist and contribute to the understanding of the problems of the environment and provide solutions for the same. So having such bright prospects, so what do the employers want from us? What are they looking for? Is it only our resume? Is it only our qualification? Nothing more? No. They seek answers to so many questions. First of all, they look for the thirst in you for the new knowledge and technology. What is knowledge? It is not what you already possess. It's not the theoretical knowledge of your subjects alone that would matter, that would help you to survive at your workplace. No. In the 21st century, an illiterate person is not one who does not know how to write and read, but an illiterate person who cannot read knowledge base and acquire the required skills, you are called an illiterate person. So updation of new knowledge. And how do you apply them? With the new technologies, new technological tools available? If you're able to provide that, then you are a professional to be hired. And how do you manage yourself? What are your career goals? How are you unique from the other graduates who are passing this year? Have you acquired more skills? Have you passed any competitive exams? Do you have any certificates proving that you have acquired so many different attributes? That will hire you for a job. And utmost optimism. Whatever difficult situations that the employer is posing before you, are you able to solve them optimistically without getting tensed? And will you be able to work in a team with flexibility? Are you ready to learn? And whatever knowledge or skills that you have, it would not be conveyed effectively unless you have effective communication skills. So do you possess that? Vibrant, hard, and soft skills. What do you mean by hard skills? Hard skills are the, through your hands or through your legs or through your personality, what techniques have you learned? For example, assembling a system or working on factory machine. That is your hard skill. Apart from your hard skills, do you have soft skills, personality development skills? And do you have or do you possess a strong body language? That comes under non-verbal personality. Yes, so all this is looked for by the employer. And apart from that, your able leadership skills. Now, though there is only one named leader in the group, everybody should have the leadership qualities. Yes, and dynamism. Have you understood how to work in a group? How to move the group to success? Do you have those skills? And then a high level of IQ, EQ, and SQ, which we will be seeing in detail. So what should be done? Extensive training is necessary. But as I said, it is not so difficult as it seems to be. We can still work out. Let us start with the first skill that we need to acquire, verbal communication skills. And I'm sure all the literature graduates are acquainted with this concept. But just let me do a short recap of that. The whole of the verbal communication skills depends on two major aspects: the language that you use and the style with which you use that language. Now, when you look at language aspect, today without English, you cannot survive. If you know your regional languages, you will be restricted to your regional place. If you want to reach everybody globally, the only passport for you to step out of your house and your city is the English language, which has become the lingua franca. Lingua franca means a common language. So unless we master this language very consciously, we will not be able to survive. Secondly, how do you use this style? There are many styles available. The general style, the general language that you use with your friends, your dear and near ones and the family, that is your general style. There's not much of effort taken by an individual to learn this style. Then you have this literary style. Yes, very beautifully, Shakespeare, Wordsworth. Yes, they give you, they provide you fictional plots, beautiful poetry, that you call it as a literary style. There's a lot of images, a lot of interpretations possible. Every student can come out with a different interpretation of a particular verse. That is what you call as a literary style. And then our concern today is the professional style. Yes, we will be looking into these details now. Now, in order to use your language, it is inevitable that we master these LSRW skills, namely listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills. And our teachers have taught us enough how to go about this. Unless you become a good listener, see, that is the first skill that a child learns, first of all. Yes, only by listening he'll try to imitate and reproduce the sound, and that's how you get speaking next. And then once you know the language, first you learn to read. And as you become an expert in reading, you will also start writing. So this is the order in which these skills are placed. So we have to consciously develop these skills. And very often I find that reading has become very, very less today. Yes, reading will give you a whole lot of treasure of vocabulary which you will be using unconsciously wherever it is needed the most. Yes, so every student should develop the reading habits, reading good books. And when you have developed that skill, you're ready to speak as well. Now, what is the style decided by? How do I choose what style I have to use? It depends on these three aspects. Your subject matter. What do you want to convey? What is the information that you want to convey? Is it a scientific topic? Is it a poetry? Is it a manual? What is it? That will decide which style you will adopt. Secondly, the purpose. Why? Why should you deliver this? You want the students to listen to you. You want your customer to buy your product. You want to convince your boss that you want a holiday today. What is it that you want? Yes, that will decide which style you will adopt today. And then whom is your content intended for? Who is going to be your audience or your reader? Is it the small children? Is it your boss? Is it the scientific fraternity? Yes, is it the students? Is it the employees? Is it your subordinates or the customers or the stakeholders? Depending on that, your style of writing and speaking will vary. Now, as I said, our concern today is the professional style. What are the characteristics of the professional style? Now, imagine that you're reading a manual for assembling a washing machine today. Yes. Now, do you think you will find any poetry in the manual? Anything written in the manual conveys only one meaning. There is no ambiguity. It is highly informative and scientific in nature. There is no emotions involved. The style adopted is either dictation or instructions. Yes, so taking this as an example, let us consider what are the different characteristics of a professional style. Now, this has to be cultivated consciously because 70 to 80% of your time is going to be spent in communicating. Yes, so don't think that just because you know English, you will be able to communicate effectively. No, you have to cultivate the style very consciously because professional writing or presenting is purely purpose oriented. There is a need and you are catering to that need. And it uses technical jargons. All of us know that jargons are subject specific terms. For every field of study or subject, you have specialized words. So you find a lot of the usage of jargons in your professional style. Apart from that, you have completely factual and informative content. There is it is not a result of your inspiration, but it is because of the need you sit to write something. Yes. See, for example, your boss has asked for a report. Whether you like it or not, you have to present the report in the form of maps or diagrams. So it is completely factual and informative. It is not for entertainment. And then uses a particular procedure. There is a format where things are logically arranged, sequentially arranged. We have to follow that format. And the language that you're using is very, very simple, very direct and specific. No beating around the bush. See, literature graduates, we give you one small proverb and we try to, we ask you to expand it into an essay. That is possible in literature, but in the professional style, no, you are asked to cut down words because people do not have enough time to read your content. Yes, so it has to be very, very specific and direct. And as I said, no ambiguity possible. One sentence should convey only one meaning to whoever reads the content. And it has to be very clear in terms, in its simplicity, and being concise as well. And as I said, consciously cultivated and practiced. Now, in order to be a good communicator that way, what are the key factors that we have to take into account? I call it by the 7 important C's. What are those important 7 C's? Number 1 is clarity. Whatever you are conveying, see to it that you are clear. Not just clear to your own self, but whoever receives it, either the reader or the listener, he has to be clear with what you are providing. And whether the required information is provided or not. And the words that you have used, the structure that you have used, the grammatical or the semantic aspect that you have added, you have to check on this first. Secondly, when you have a clear content, check whether it is concise and on to the target. You are not including any irrelevant information. Because of the time aspect and because of the importance of the subject, you directly hit your target. So it has to be very concise. And whatever you are providing, see to it that it is concrete and not abstract. When I say, I will contact you later, what do you understand? Am I going to contact you by phone? Am I going to meet you? Am I going to write an email to you? Nothing is clear. And what do you mean by later? Is it today, tomorrow, a year later? No, I should say, I will send you an email by 3 p.m. today. This is concrete. So in the professional style, be concrete with your information that you're providing. And whatever you write, see to it that you are correct. Correct pronunciation-wise, articulation-wise, grammatical structure-wise, whatever you're doing, see that you are correct. And the information that you're providing, see to it that it is absolutely correct, not even approximately, absolutely correct information. This is what the professional world wants from you. And whatever you're providing, see to it that it is logically arranged, chronologically arranged in a very beautiful style. That is what you call by coherence. It should have an order. People understand certain things only when it is in an ordered format. And see to it that it is complete. If somebody has asked for an inquiry, list it out. What are the points that he wants to know and whether your answer covers all the points. See that it is complete. And most important of all, whatever you're conveying, be it a very bad news or a rejection, yes, rejecting somebody's proposal or rejecting somebody's project turn down somebody's interview, that you are very, very courteous all the time. Yes, even when you're dealing with an angry customer, you should not lose your cool. You have to be courteous even in your words, the word structures that you use, because you are representing an organization. And the way you talk will really reflect on the organization that you come from. So be very careful that you are very, very courteous. So now all these 7 C's will go for both verbal, that is oral, as well as written communication skills. Now, being more specific with the oral communication that you may have to carry out at your workplace, what are the different scenarios? You may have to indulge in a face-to-face conversation, either with a customer or your boss, or it can be a telephonic conversation, or you may have to do a presentation on your project or your launching of a product. It can be anything, or it can even be a presentation of what you have done so far. Yes, a progress report of your performance that can also be presented. And then the public speaking. This has become an integral part of any communication today, because many of us, I think most of us, are afraid to speak in public. Yes, so we will see to that in detail later. And interviews that you may have to attend, as well as the interviews that you may have to conduct. The different discussion types in the form of seminars, conferences, symposiums that you may have to conduct at your workplace, that will also need your communication skills. And apart from that, to your subordinates, you may have to instruct or dictate certain times, and get instructions and get dictated as well from your boss. So these are the scenarios that you have to have. So we have to be well prepared for all these. Yeah, coming to the fear of public speaking. The many forums that I have attended, students have been asking us how to get rid of this fear. In fact, even as teachers, we still have that fear, isn't it? Apart from taking classes for our students, when we go out, we still feel afraid. What is this fear of public speaking? See, this is the biggest fear reported by the research studies. 90% of adults fear public speaking, and this fear of public speaking is even more than the fear of death. Yes. So how is it caused? What is it called actually? It is called glossophobia, fear of public speaking. What does it cost? What are the causes? Inadequate preparation can be one reason. When we do not know how to prepare and how much to prepare, yes, that can become a point of worry. And you become very, very conscious when you come on the stage or when the mic is given to you, because you are afraid of being judged. From the beginning, by the time that you come onto the stage, people have started judging you, and you are very conscious of that fact. Your dressing sense, what you're going to convey, is he going to be intelligent? Is he going to give us something new, or the same old boring topic? Yes. So that you cannot change the expectations of the audience unless you perform well. Lack of familiarity with the audience or the setting. You do not know whom you are addressing. See, of course, we do know that the webinar is being attended by students and teachers today. But in all respects, especially when you're doing it digitally online, people may not know at all. And that gives you a lot of fear, anxiety. Lack of knowledge about public speaking, strategies that you have to learn today. And you always feel low about yourself. You're less, lack of confidence will give you a lot of fear, and fear of the unknown. Yeah, that exists for all of us today, isn't it? And any haunting past experiences where you have failed in the past, that can also hinder your progress today. Yes, so how can you overcome this fear? What can you do to remove all these things and be a confident speaker? Yeah, it's your turn to speak. Grab this opportunity at the earliest and try to win. How? Shift the focus from your self-doubt and fear to the content that you're delivering. See, when you're preparing and when you have prepared with so many good resources and you have so many good things to convey to your audience, that should be your focus point and not your self-doubt and fear. Immediately when you're presenting, see to it that you get so much involved in your topic that other things should not disturb you. Yes, that can be one effective tactics to deal with stage fear. Secondly, relax and build confidence. You have prepared very well. You have so many good examples. Why should you fear? Build that confidence that you can also be successful. And when you go to sleep, when you wake up in the morning, visualize that you're succeeding. This works excellently, and psychologically, it will give you a very good input to become confident. Visualize your success. Imagine that you're speaking very well. Nothing is going wrong. The audience are receiving it properly. Prepare your material well in advance. so that you don't have the last minute anxieties. And see to it that you connect with your audience. Yes, engaging the audience by questions, by asking their opinion about things, giving a very good smile and maintaining a very good eye contact with the audience will remove your fear. And consider them as your friends. Yes, never look at them as your enemy. They are there to support you with their presence. So acknowledge that fact. And whenever you stand or sit, see to it that your posture and your gestures and the whole of your personality exhibits positivity everywhere. Yes, even though you may be nervous internally, let that not be shown outside, because your concern there is to make a good presentation. Yes, and be natural. Yes, trying to imitate somebody's style or speaking in a very artificial tone will put you in more fear. Yes, rather than bringing you out of that fear. So be natural with your natural flow. See to it that you speak very well, and see to it that you are focused all the time. You should not get distracted from your topic. And your presentation will be more effective if you're going to use appropriate audio visual aids. And when you use that, be very careful that the audience should not rely only on your audiovisual aid. You as a speaker should be more important there. Coming to the writing skills, how do we hone these skills? Because it does not come to us naturally as we learn how to speak. So what should be done? Yes. Um, at your workplace, you may have write these types of written documents in the form of advertisements, letters, yes, MOUs, agendas, minutes, even reports. So you need to develop this writing skill also. And you find that when a reader is reading your letter, he is not able to see you. Body language gives you so much of accomplishment. It completes your conversation, but that is missing in your written style. So the whole lot of thing depends on how you write, what words have you chosen, what grammatical structure you have included, and how logically you have arranged. So without the without the aid of body language, you have to do very well in your writing skills. And you find that whatever written document that you are providing becomes authentic. It can be even be produced in the court. It's not like the word that I give you today. I give you all my property. No, you would not listen to me. You would not believe me unless I give it in writing. So whatever we write today becomes a part of a file which is being stored in the storerooms of the workplaces and which will be referred by your juniors later. So see to it that you write so well that it becomes a very good authentic record. And hence it needs rigorous practice when you write something. And as I said, professional style, direct, simple, and very specific, up to the point, and no redundancy possible. Yes. See, when I say return back, return itself means to come back. Why do you need that word back again? This is an example of redundancy. See to it that you remove all the unwanted words from your document, all the unwanted information from your document, and no use of superfluous vocabulary. See, when you write something, it is not to give a good impression on the reader, but your main focus is conveying the message properly, where it is not where the meaning is not distorted. That is more important than impressing somebody by difficult words. So see to it that you're very simple in the use of your language. This is what is the new trend today. And whenever you write something to your customer, see to it that you give importance to them. That is what you mean by you attitude more than me attitude. I want this. Instead of saying, I would be really grateful if you can provide me this information. I hope you understand by what do I mean by you attitude. And always positive and genuine in your approach. As I said, even a negative information can be conveyed very positively. I'll give you a small example. Instead of saying, I don't like tea or coffee, yes, I can always say, I prefer a health drink rather than tea or coffee. That makes the sentence positive. and you will be you'll be exhibiting the same optimism everywhere when you cut down on the words of not or never or no. Yes, reframe your sentences that so that you can exhibit positivity everywhere. Now, apart from the oral and the written communication pattern, the next important thing is non-verbal communication. Yes, we have to understand that only 50% of your information is conveyed verbally, but more impact can be provided only when you know how to do it well through your body language. What kind of a posture, what kind of a expression you should have on your face, what kind of a personality should you pose when you're standing before somebody. Yes, all that is decided by your non-verbal communication traits. Now look at this picture. You have so many different individuals standing in different poses. And see, each and everything expresses something. If you're wearing a cooling glass, yes, that shows that you may be hiding something. Not all the time, but at least when you are professionally interacting, see to it that you have a very good eye contact, which is missing in that boy. And see the kind of seriousness that you pose yourself with, or the casual feeling that you exhibit. Yes, your cuffed hands, or the way you stand with your legs crossed, all this exhibits something. Unless we learn the tactics how to present ourselves professionally, we may not succeed. So what are the important things that you have to take care of? Your personal appearance, especially your dressing sense. Yes, when you're professionally dressed, people will respect you for what you are. And your facial expressions is the most expressive part of your body, isn't it? With your eyes and with your mouth, how do you express yourselves? And the eye contact, yes, the most expressive in your facial expressions. Shakespeare says that you can hide something through your words, but your body language, your fingers, your eyes will surely tell us that you're hiding something. Yes, so that means eye contact and facial expressions become so important when you're communicating professionally. Your gestures and the posture, the free use of your hands and legs, yes, all that adds to your communication pattern. And also the space and the distancing that you maintain in a professional setup. When you do non-verbal traits, these are the three important words that we come across with. That is kinesics. Kinesics is nothing but the study of a body language. Yes, the whole aspect of body language. Proxemics comes from the word proximity. That means distance. Yes, so a study of space and distancing is called proxemics. And anything which is visibly seen and understood and judged is what you know by visible code. Now, having learned how to do a verbal and a non-verbal communication properly, another important aspect that we have to look into is the communication barrier. We have to see to it that our communication is provided effectively, removing all these barriers. Now, what can be the barriers? It can be physical setup, or it can be semantic difficulty. The meaning of the words that you have chosen, the reader may not understand, or the language that you have used. Even the transmission channel disturbances can become a barrier to your communication. And differing attitudes. Yes, you may be very positive, but your listener may not be so. Yes, and you may find certain things very seriously. The other person may take it very casually. So differing attitudes will also not convey the information properly. And people communicating can be from different backgrounds, different cities, different cultures. If you are not sensitive to that aspect, communication again will become a barrier. Apart from that, your self-emotional and psychological disturbances. If you are sick, or if you've fought with somebody, or if you're angry, yes, your communication will differ highly. And apart from that, situational or circumstantial barriers. The situation is not right for you to respond today, or even your inattention. Yes, you're not listening to your speaker, or you're trying to dominate a talk or a conversation where you don't allow the other person to respond at all. Yes, all this can become communication barrier. One important thing that we have to understand is any communication should be two-way. Yes, if it is only one way, it will not be successful and effective. And when you start evaluating the information even before the speaker starts, that is called premature evaluation. You start judging the person even before he starts. Yes. And after he finishes, if you don't remember any point, poor retention, that can also become a barrier. And apart from that, lack of interest or knowledge in the subject. Yes. See to it that within the attention span of your listener or your reader, you convey the information effectively. The next comes the soft skills. And we have to acknowledge that 75% of our work success depends on soft skills. So, what are the components? First of all, is your self esteem, the image that you have about yourself. Will you be able to provide enough? As I said, how are you unique? At the end of your post graduation or graduation for that matter, all the 50 or 60 of your classmates are going to pass out today. How are you going to stand out from the rest? Why should the employer choose you more than your friends? Yes, that is because how much have you developed your professional profile? That is what my self-esteem. Are you strong enough? I will be doing that in detail in my next slide. The next thing is confidence, cooperation, and contribution. How much confident are you as a professional? How much will you cooperate in a team? And how well you will contribute to the organization if they hire you? Do you have a holistic personality? You should be good in everything, not just good in writing or not just good in speaking or not just good in one aspect. You should have a good knowledge, wide knowledge about using your skills in all aspects. And when you work in a team, do you work with synergic team spirit? You working in unison, that is what you mean by synergy. Are you able to work with everybody pleasantly and not dominate the whole group? And because you're not going to work individually, you're going to connect to people around, your interpersonal skills will matter. That comes under soft skills. And the cultural sensitivity. People from North India, people from South India, people from India moving abroad, yes, they will find cultural variations. Are you able to adapt yourself to those variations and cater to the needs of those professions? Is what is looked for. See, gone are the days when girls should think that they need not step out of their city, or once they get married they have to stay at home. No, the world is expanding. Your consciousness is expanding. You should be ready to take any risk today, and they are nowhere short of the labor that the men provide today. You can there's so many women who have become breadwinners. Yes. So unless you are culturally sensitive and flexible in your approach, today's professional world will pose to be a problem too. Next thing is soft skills will also include how do you manage time. Within the allotted time, how much are you able to contribute? And stress, which is an integral part of every profession. How are you able to manage stress? And when you work in a team, how do you manage conflict and yet stay strong and be successful is what is looked for. So, above all, what do they want you to become? You have to be theoretically strong. The qualification or the degree that you have in hand should be reflected in your personality because all your ideas should be practical enough. So, you have to be practically smart as well. And whatever you know, you should be able to apply that, and be of use to somebody. So, all these skills come under soft skills, which we have to learn. Now, as I said, self-esteem. Many of us suffer from this, disease, which I call it as low self-esteem. Even though you're doing well, even though you're qualified, you're skillful, something in your mind tells you that you're not enough. That is what you call by low self-esteem, where you would not acknowledge your own contribution. You will look at any new opportunity as a problem, and Subsequently, you will become unproductive at your workplace. You're not open to any criticism. And any new opportunity, as I said, will become a very great challenge for you. You're not ready to take, you will run away from that. You will run away from the battlefield if you're not ready to accept it. And you will be very, very impulsive in nature if you're not, balanced, emotionally balanced. You'll become angry, you'll become impulsive. Any suggestion is taken as a negative feedback. Okay, so these are the traits of low self-esteem which we have to overcome in order to build your confidence. When you become highly confident, when you really value your self-esteem, then you become such a happy person like this woman here. Yes, where I won't do it becomes yes, I did it. At regular intervals, you will introspect yourself and the other traits that you want to add to your profile. You see to it that you become achieve success. This is the trait of high self-esteem which all of us have to cultivate. Apart from these skills that we have learned, the three quotients which are very important, they are the EQ, the IQ, and the SQ, which is spiritual quotient. How will it impact our contribution in a workplace? Let us see that. What is IQ? It is intelligence quotient, your ability to grasp and learn things logically and rationally. How much have you learned and how much are you able to use that knowledge in practice? Yes, how intelligent you are. I'm sure whenever we have problems, we run up to an intelligent person in the organization who will help us, isn't it? So shouldn't we become that person with a high level of IQ? What are the traits? You become creative and enterprising. You are not old-fashioned. Your creative ideas will contribute to the new developments in your organization, and you are very, very promising that way. And when you are intelligent, you'll be able to plan out and execute your ideas properly. You will gather so much of wide experience and knowledge by your exposure. You're not restricted to one place or one organization. You have the knowledge and expertise of so many subjects, at least a little knowledge about everything. And as I said, you become a subject expert. People will look up to you for acquiring the skills. And apart from that, you will be able to solve any kind of difficult problem. You become analytically strong. When you know so much, you will be able to analyze a problem or an issue in its entirety, in its comprehensive aspect, and you will be able to provide solutions. Theoretically sound, practically applicable too. Your expertise will be used by the organization to its maximum level, and they will benefit out of it. So it is our duty to increase our IQ level every time. The next one is the emotional quotient. Now, this is more important than your IQ. Your IQ can fetch you the job, but what will make you survive at your job? That is your EQ. Yes, emotional quotient. What is that emotional quotient? Ability to be aware of and regulate one's emotional responses. Are you able to maintain a very good emotional balance, especially when you fail, especially when you go wrong, whenever encounter a loss? Are you able to recoup? So when you have a very good emotional quotient, you will be socially amicable, reliable, and resilient. As I said, you should be able to rise up like a phoenix out of your loss. You should be able to contribute so much to your organization emotionally. Even, contribute in helping somebody who's really down. So you'll always be calm, composed, and the most important thing in your mind is peace. You're able to compromise anything if peace is established. And unless you are peace loving, you will not be able to provide peace to your peer members. Yes, so that is also very important. And if your EQ level is good, you'll be able to manage problems or any kind of stress and conflicts, and you will always display high leadership qualities. People will look up to your suggestions and counseling yes, in order to solve a problem. And you will initiate. You know that any kind of an emotional breakdown can make you stronger in future. It will not put you down, and you will enjoy better job satisfaction. And you're very, very clear and organized in your dealings. Coming to the spiritual quotient, can spirituality be applied at your workplace? Now, these are the two pictures that I have chosen only to state that, see, the image of Buddha brings in the concept of peace to us and understanding, self realization. Unless you tap your own potential, your hidden talents, you will not be able to give it to the others. That is what is shown in the second picture. Once you realize yourself, you will be able to, demonstrate that energy, contribute that energy worldwide. That is what you mean by the spiritual quotient. Now let us look at how spirituality can be applied at your workplace. That is what you call by professional ethics. What are the components of it? You are able to connect yourself to the whole world. If you are if you have understood that spiritual power is equally essential apart from your materialistic wealth that you have hoard, that means you are spiritual in nature. Your sense of values and principles and beliefs that keep you strong all the time, keep you honest and maintain your integrity at all times, even at challenging times, even when you're facing failures. That shows that you are highly spiritual in nature and your spirituality is going to benefit the organization. And when you are so grateful for all the things that God has provided you, yes, when you make the best use of things available at your doorstep, and when you take everything positively, every fall as a positive aspect, you will be able to help and contribute to the others. And you are able to be considerate towards your employees, to your customers, whoever is using your product, whoever is dealing their business with you, you'll be more compassionate towards them. You're not just money minded there. Profit is not something which will make you happy, but customer satisfaction is what you would look for. When you're designing a small toy for a child, you will see to it that you don't add any chemicals in it. Yes, when you're adding comfort zones to a medical to any technical appliance used by a housewife, you'll see to it that it is not dangerous. Yes, so these are the things which will make you spiritual, spiritually considerate and compassionate towards others. Do you possess these qualities? Yes, and are you committed and dedicated to your workplace, to your work, to your profession? Do you consider your profession as your cup of tea? Is this, you want to pursue something what you like? So, are you enjoying your work as a play? And whenever you take decisions, you see to it that it is society friendly, nature friendly. Nowadays, every profession, the government or the world citizen, they are expecting this from you. Any new product that you have brought out, any new idea or the policy that you have framed, is it society and nature friendly? If you are doing that, you are spiritually strong. And whether you're peace loving, benevolent in your approach, and whether you're leading a very meaningful and a satisfied life. If you have these characteristics in your personality, then consider yourself as highly spiritual, and your SQ, your spiritual quotient, is really high. The next thing which I find very important at your workplace is group dynamism. There are so many aspects which we may not be able to cover in this presentation, but these are a few things which I did not want to leave. Yes, group dynamism. Now, do you see this flight, the beautiful pattern of the flight of these birds? What do they teach us? They look so beautiful, but is there something that we can learn from them? Yes, very much. Now, when you see this, the so-called leader of uh, the flight, yes, the group of the birds, he is little ahead, and all those who are following him or her are slightly ahead. Yes, at slightly higher than the leader. It goes like diagonally up. Yep, this is how they fly. You know what is the advantage of them flying this way? They are able to resist the flow of the wind, and they are able to fly fast and for a long time. This is what we learn from them. And you know what? There is no specified leader to the group. If one who is ahead feels tired, he can anytime go back. Anybody can come and take his place and lead the group. This is the beauty that that makes us understand few aspects. What do we learn from them? Group dynamism, which is comprised of synergy, as I said, working in unison. You will not be able to play the show all alone. You need the whole team. Equal respect to all the team members, acknowledging their ideas, giving equal opportunities to everybody, appreciating their contribution, helping them whenever they are feeling down, and still leading the team. That is what you mean by synergy. Coordination, cooperation, whenever you do a group activity. And you never give up unless you reach your goal. That is what I mean by perseverance.
Yeah, me correct.
All these birds would not stop anywhere in between unless they reach their destination. So if you're able to work in a team very consistently, you will reach your goal very soon. And all of them are focused on the goal. So when you're focused on the goal, you will not mind individual differences or disappointments or small failures. Because for you, reaching the goal and accomplishing the project will be more important. And the group dynamism will bring out your best leadership qualities. How great a leader you are, who does not dominate the whole group, but who takes everybody along with them amicably. He knows the pros and the cons. He knows even before a problem arises, he is prepared to shield the team from those problems. And even unfortunately, even if he faces the problem, he knows how to come out of it. And excellent team spirit is what we learn from these birds. And yes, brand is what you are looking for. You are representing a brand. You are representing an organization, a product. Yes. So wherever you go wrong or wherever you do well is well reflected with your brand name. So if you want to keep your brand name good, learn group dynamism. So now we come to the third part of our presentation, with employability skills. Now, all those who are graduating this year or next year will surely look for how to get themselves employed today. Yes? So, what are the employability skills? Does it necessarily mean writing a good resume alone? We have already seen what the employers want from us, but are we presenting it enough? And when you attend an interview, that is the first and the last impression that you give them, isn't it? Yes, and that first impression has to be the best impression. So, what can we do in order for us to get a good employment, survive in the workplace for a long time, earn a very good living, and be successful professionally? What can we do for all these things? First of all, you need to prepare yourself very well. When you come out of your college, see to it that you have a clear career objective. What do you want to become? Where do you want to work? What are the challenges that you're ready to face? That will decide your clear career objective. Secondly, have you acquired enough of knowledge and skills and experience that you need to work at a particular organization? Many of us will have an image of a dream jobs, isn't it? But are we all doing enough to acquire that? We have to be prepared to answer these questions. And yes, effective resume. Resumes are not the old curriculum vitae that we follow. Things have changed. We have to literally advertise ourselves when you want a good employment. Then you need to do a very good research on your job prospects today, either through the media, through the print media or the digital media. See to it that you literally hunt for a good job. And when you hunt for a good job, see to it that you read the job description properly. What are they looking for? Are they looking for an experienced hand or a skillful hand or a fresher? Yes, or a good communication trainer? What are they looking for? And place yourself against that and see to it whether you are fit enough for that job or that office is fit enough for your ambition. And then when you go for an interview, they may ask you to do a presentation. Even when you go for an interview for a teacher's job or a professor's job, they may ask you to do a small sample presentation. So when you're prepared with that, it will add credit to your profile. And be prepared with some possible questions. What are the questions that they may ask you? Yes. So having prepared yourself with that, now you're ready to face your interview. When you go for an interview, what are the things that you have to be careful about? You have to exhibit your strong and your confident personality. Be very confident that you are very resourceful, ethical, and reliable at your interview. Yes, because they're going to hire you for a very long time. Yes, and the first and the foremost thing that you have to be prepared is with a very good self-introduction. What do you mean by self-introduction? Is it only your name, your the qualification that you have and the organization that you're coming from? No, there's so much more to it. You will add your strengths, your career objectives. How are you going to be unique from the others? And why do you think you are the best suitable person for this job? Yes, and you have a clear-cut career objective. What are you able to contribute to the organization? What kind of research have you done about the organization that you're appearing for an interview for? What do you know about them? What do you know about the vision and the mission? And what are your principles and beliefs? How positive you are in contributing for whatever that they are looking for. This will become a short self-introduction. And whenever they ask you questions relating to your workplace or any dire situations or challenging times, see to it that you use your working philosophy very well. Yes, you are punctual, you're very honest. Yes, and if truth is paramount in your mind, all these can become your strengths. How are you going to use them at your workplace? Yes, your values and principles have to be enumerated very well so that they're also clear whom they are hiring. And whenever they pose case-related questions, see to it that you're able to solve them very optimistically. Because any problem we will surely have a solution. So look at things from a positive angle and try to give a positive solution for all the questions that they pose to you. And whenever you say something, see to it that you support your statements with enough evidences and examples. Only that makes you credible. See, if I say I'm very punctual, I'm very efficient, that will not do. I have to quote from my resume saying that I have done so many projects, how through punctuality and efficiency I have been able to contribute so much and achieve success. Yes, so examples and evidences is what will add credibility to the statements that you are making. And anything that you possess, any knowledge and skill that you possess should be clearly expressed through excellent communication skills. And be very, very alert to what they're asking and give a very smart answer, genuine answer to all those questions. And I'm sure if you take care of these aspects, you will be highly successful at an interview. The other thing that people look for is the resume templates. The latest updated resume is of this format, and I'm sure it will be useful if you take a note of it. Now, the, the latest format will have your name as the title of the resume. So even the word resume is not used anymore. You have your name as the title, followed by your contact details with your telephone number and your email ID with your recent photograph. And yes, the first and the foremost thing is, are you clear about your career objective? It is only a one-line statement that you have to add. I've just given you an example where you say that you want to pursue a growth-driven career. See, when you go for an interview or when you send your resume to an employer, prospective employer, two things have to be taken care of. First thing is the job should be suitable to you. And secondly, you should be suitable for that job. So this clear career objective will state whether these two aspects are taken care of. So when you say growth driven, you don't want to become stagnant in your career. You want to evolve, you want to grow, you want new opportunities. So is the workplace ready to provide you those opportunities? And when you have acquired so much of knowledge and you have upgraded your skills, are you ready to contribute efficiently? Contribute efficiently to the professional organizational environment. And the next thing which comes to you, especially at an entry level, as freshers, you're going to go out. The most important thing is your educational qualification. Now, in the latest format, you will not just stop by stating that you have finished your BA or your MA degree. No, you have to explain more. What? You have to describe your degree courses in the descending order. So the post-graduation will come first, followed by your undergraduation. And in the title itself, you will mention your pass percentage because that is what is going to attract your employer. Followed by that is the name of the university and the institution and the time duration of your study and the specialized subjects that you have learned. Many people would not know in your BA degree or your BSc or your MCA degree, what have you done? But these subjects will tell them that you at least have a very good theoretical knowledge in these subjects. And if you have done any individual or group projects, please mention the title along with the skills that you have learned during the accomplishment. Yes, this will add value to your profile. What is the next part of your resume? After giving your educational qualification, the next thing that you can make yourself strong with is your core and extracurricular activities that you took part in, either at school or at your college when you have been a part of a magazine team or NSS or NCC or any other social welfare clubs or science clubs. And if you have contributed substantially to that, that can add so much of weightage to your resume. So explain that with enough verbs and adjectives and see to it that whatever you state have evidences, genuine, genuine recording of all your activities. Only thing is you don't leave out anything, you include everything. And apart from that, if you are already experienced in a profession, then you can have this optional part in your resume. Positions held, yes, you will start with a position as a manager or as a trainer that you started with, which organization you worked for and how long you worked for, and what were the job responsibilities. If, for example, as a language trainer, what were your responsibilities? Whom did you teach? Did you teach students of schools or colleges? Did you train professionals? Yes. So the job description of your job responsibilities will clarify all the doubts of the employer and it will add weightage to your profile. And any accomplishments at your workplace, any projects that you have done, have you been instrumental in bringing more profit to the organization or expertise to the organization? That can also be included in your resume. And apart from that, as I said, see, this modern professional world, the digital world looks for your skills. So you see to it that you include everything that you know. Yes, your communication skills, your leadership qualities, your managerial skills, your computer language skills that you have learned. Yes, everything comes under this banner, professional skills. List them out with explanation, with statements, not just in one points. Okay. And then coming to the more general aspect of your personality is that your interests. Apart from your academic and professional interests, are you interested in music or dance or other clubs? Are you a member of other things like Rotaract Club and all that? That can be included here. Social welfare activities. What have you done? Yes. And leisure time activities. This is a very refined term for the word hobbies. So we don't use the word hobbies anymore. We call it as leisure time activities because even during leisure, you are active. Yes, through a very good activity. Then listing out your language proficiencies, especially the foreign languages that you might have learned and got certificates for. Okay, all that can be listed out. And the last part of your resume is references. References will contain the name and the official contact details of any person who can recommend you as a good candidate. So it can be your teacher, your professor, or if you have worked somewhere, even your former employer can be considered as a reference. The only thing is you have to tell them beforehand that their name is included in your resume. And after that, when you have included everything, you declare that whatever you have stated in your resume is true to your knowledge and belief. This is what do I mean by declaration, and you sign your name there. So this is the latest format that all of us can follow if you're looking out for a very good job. Coming to my last part of the presentation, which I feel will be incomplete unless I do some entrepreneurial skills. Because many students out there, many people out there would like to start a new business rather than getting a good employment at a workplace. Yes? So are you ready for that? And if you are ready for that, what are the things which are very important to be considered before you take this important step? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Can I continue?
Yes, ma'am. You can continue, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. Your entrepreneurial skills. As I said, when you want to step out very courageously, do an introspection, a thorough introspection into these various aspects. Number one, are you self-aware? Do you have a very clear vision and mission to start a new business? And do you know the pros and the cons? Yes. What are the difficulties involved? Are you ready to face them? And you will be heading a team. Are you able to head the team properly? Will you be able to make people work for you? Yes, this is what you have to introspect. And the next important thing is your time. Within what time can you build up this establishment or a business of your own? And what financial status are you in now? So rather than relying on futuristic aspects, see to it that you can work out with whatever limited resources you have now, especially your financial status. So see to it that you are equipped enough, resourceful enough to start a new business. And always remember that you have to be innovative in your approach. There are so many brands out there in the market, so much of heavy competition. Why should a customer buy your product? What is something new that you are offering to them, which they don't find in anything else? So, is the cost of your product feasible? Yes, are people able to rely on your enterprise more than anybody else? So you need to be very, very creative and innovative in your approach, and you have to be very, very smart in your thinking. You have to establish clear-cut strategies when you step into this business world. Because of the competition, you should not be washed away from the line. You need to survive there and achieve success. And remember, it is all even failure is a part of the game. So are you able to take risks, and are you able to courageously fight through all the difficulties and yet be successful? And resilience in the face of challenges, are you able to recoup? Yes, learn from your mistakes, learn from your failures, and Recoup immediately so that none of your work is hindered. People who are relying on you should not feel dejected. Yes, see to it that you have that courage to take risks. Unless you jump, you will not know how steep or how shallow the waters are. Enthusiasm. See to it that just because you were enthusiastic in the beginning and you lose your enthusiasm after a year or two, no, it is not feasible at all. You should maintain your enthusiasm throughout until you retire or until you close down your business or hand it over to your friends or your family. Yes, be creative enough, keep trying new things, and always be patient. People who are going to work with you may not respond to your expectations, but they will learn. You need to be very, very patient, yes, and see to it that you never stop. You persevere. In spite of failures, you persevere to reach your goal. And whatever you're doing, see to it that you have a good standing on branding and advertising. If you're just going to advertise in the local papers, your market will never reach the others. See to it that you have enough, media connections where your advertisement, which is beautifully made, catering to the needs of the customers, reach everybody. Yes, so this aspect is very, very essential when you are thinking of starting a new business. And you have to work with people of different cultures, so networking skills you have to develop. And with limited resources, you want to achieve something big, the only solution is negotiating. So are you ready to negotiate? How well you can negotiate and still run a successful business? And for that, you need to socialize. You cannot be introverts. You cannot be, restricted to your own self. You need to socialize. You have to develop contacts worldwide so that your expertise, your ideas, your service reaches everywhere. And when you're working, see that you are flexible. With your set plans, it may not work tomorrow. You may have to plan differently. Are you able to do it flexibly? You keep yourself flexible, plus you train others also to be flexible. None of your employees should leave you. Yes, see to it that you keep your employees and your customers always happy with your service. And please be open to change and learn, because as individuals, as personalities, we are evolving every day. We are very, very different from what we were 10 years back. Yes, so please be open to changes are not potential dangers, but they are opportunities for us to learn, opportunities for us to grow. So if you have this positivity, this optimism in mind, you will surely be able to do a wonderful job, or you will also become a very good entrepreneur in future. So with this, my presentation comes to a close. I would like to close with a very good proverb by Aristotle, who says that knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. So enough of knowing others. First, you have to tap yourself. Bring out all the hidden talents, all the potentials which is hidden inside. Bring that out, and you will be able to see yourself clearly of who you are, what you can do, and what you can contribute. Yes, so you will be able to build up a very good self-image, and you will be able to realize yourself. Yes, this is the self-realization step, which will which will make you manage so many things at the same time. Don't consider yourself as mean. Don't underestimate or underrate yourself. You will never know. Only when you tap the right opportunity, you will know your talents. See, that's what our teachers are doing for us, isn't it? Yes, when they bring out so many different competitions and when they literally force you to take part, ultimately when you win, do you regret of having taken part in that? No, you will feel that you have become something new today. And because of the opportunities that life is providing us, we are able to realize ourselves. And this real self-realization step is very important. That is because only then you will be able to go to the next step, which is reaching out. When you are strong, you can help others. And only by helping others and contributing to life in general, people in general, the whole of our, the whole of our being here in this world is of no use today. It will be of use only when you're able to reach out and help and contribute to others' happiness. Yes. So with this, I wish you all the participants the very best, and I'm sure you will all become very good professionals in your life. Thank you so much for the opportunity given by the Department of English at St. Mary's College. And if you have any questions or clarifications, I'll be glad to clear them. Thank you so much.
The world belongs to those who learn skills and use them in a creative way. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your informative and wonderful presentation. Ma'am, I hope you left nothing untouched in communication skills. And really, this is evening. We don't want any healthy drinks. You have boosted us with your energetic presentation. Thank you so much, ma'am.
I'm
And
really
now
glad.
it's
I'm really
time
glad.
for
Thank you so
the
much.
participants to post their queries and questions in the chat box. Now I invite Mrs. Kanagadurga, Assistant Professor of English, to take up the session and read the questions posted by the participants. Mrs. Kanagadurga.
Good evening, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, please.
And there is a question from YouTube participant, Mr. Kiran R. Karma. How can we use our professional communication skills in an environmentalist career?
Yes. Now, all the updated syllabus of literature courses, they have this particular paper called environmentalism, eco-literature or eco-criticism, which is also a part of my doctoral study. Now, you can learn the different environmental issues, and being a part of a government affairs or even private affairs who are working for uh, environmental rehabilitation, you can provide your expertise for that course. So that way, by understanding the problems of the environment and by building an awareness in the public, you can become a very good environmentalist, either through your writings or through your speeches or your pamphlets, or even by your service. You can contribute a lot to this field of environmentalism.
Next question, ma'am. From
Yeah.
Ms. Vashanti in Google chat. How to cope up emotionally with non-cooperative, reluctant subordinates?
Okay. Yes, this is a trend everywhere. Yes. Um, if you look at if you go to the root of the problem, you will understand that all your uncompromising subordinates may be suffering from something, some emotional background. It may be because of their financial status, or maybe because of their inferiority complex, or the troubled families that they come from. Yes, you need to be very, very compassionate, very considerate and patient to deal with them. And you will ultimately realize, you give yourself time, sit with them, talk to them as to the problems that they are facing, what is making them less cooperative, and give them viable solutions through your counseling sessions. Yes, tell them that see, they possess so many positive traits. If they become positive, if they contribute to the group, how well it will change their life. Yes, how well they will be able to evolve in their career growth. As I said, everything depends on merit and performance today. It's not about seniority, it's about performance. So if they change, if they can contribute, if you can encourage them to come out, I'm sure they will all become helpful and cooperative in your team. I hope this answers to that question.
Yes, ma'am. Next question from Ms. Banumati. How to stop students from unnecessarily saying many gap fillers while they converse?
Yes, ma'am. Now, gap fillers is the time where they are hunting for words or ideas. Yes, all of us have gone through that. When you learn a language, you have to start thinking in that particular language. See, if I want to speak English, I cannot be thinking in Tamil and then trying to translate it into English. It will take a lot of time for me to do that. And there's so much of gap in that. Yes, start thinking. You have to, by reading or by listening to English conversations, I can fill those gaps. And with a whole lot of vocabulary that I have built, if I have organized it properly, I will be able to speak fluently. And you learn from your mistakes. All of us will learn only from our mistakes. Yes, so there's no going back on that. Don't feel dejected when you want to, when you feel that. And as I said, the first important point is start thinking in that particular language if you want to become an expert or a good communicator in that language.
Yes, ma'am. Another question from YouTube participant, Mr. Babuji. What's your opinion about the digital resume?
Yeah, digital resume. Yes. Well, because I myself, when I did my resume, I did it very meticulously and manually. I feel that manual resumes will be more genuine today, because I don't I'm not against the digital resumes that are available, because ready-made templates are available out there. Everybody will be using it, whether all those